Today, my capstone is about my perspective of my life up to now. My life here, how I've seen it, or rather felt it. The unfairness, the speculation and ridicule, the judgmental attitudes and discriminatory actions, the consistent insensitivity and unrecognized hurt. This is to offer you an intellectual, insider's view of someone with autism, of me and my unexpressed feelings, to explain what many misconceive as oddities of my being strange or weird. And just to let you know, we are all the same. We are all students, and we all are here learning to be actors, to be a different person and experience others on a regular basis, to dress up, experiment, and wear costumes, to act in different ways and be allowed to express ourselves in dynamic character. Ultimately, we are all students of life. My persona is Chardon X. My passion is to be a professional wrestler. And yeah, go ahead and giggle, it's fine, I'm okay with that, but it's my dream, so you can have yours and I'll have mine. Again, I'm okay with that. My reason for being here at Piedmont is like you, to learn to be a better performer, a better narrator, a better character, and to develop those skills and abilities. So here's the life inside Chardon X, but it's actually my life, DC Stoltz. I have a disclaimer, and yes, I will read this part. As all disclaimers and protection clauses sometimes are delivered in a fast and unrecognizable voice, I want all to fully understand my voice and to hear the following with no mistakes, misconceptions, or misrepresentations. I feel my voice was not given the opportunity to explain as events occurred. Rather, I was silenced. Besides, I have to, excuse me for saying this, but to date, life has taught me that I have to cover my ass. I feel it's important to open my statement with this disclaimer because society and the culture of how establishments have molded and are forcing me to conform to their standards and expectations, just so norms feel comfortable in their actions and decisions at the expense of those of us on the spectrum. My mom and I feel it is important for all watching to understand the world of an Aspie and others with our life challenges. In our family, we don't label, confine, or define my abilities with an indignant term such as disability. Those of us born on the spectrum are not disabled to do things. In fact, more times than not, we are highly intelligent and more capable. We just have some internal mental wires sparking out of control or misfiring or overstimulating on all cylinders. In our home, we call it diffabilities. We all have different abilities. And I mean we all have different abilities. Diffabilities thrive in the wide gamut of autism. Asperger's in particular is where I hover. We are very misunderstood, interrupted, cut off, or overrun, and many times taken advantage of. Ignored, unheard, or dismissed. We try to collect our thoughts quickly for a conversation, but when our thoughts look like that of the Star Wars introduction, where stars are coming at you in light speed, well, that is information and thoughts coming into our processors. And every moment that requires us to focus and try to distribute or differentiate the information at light speed when it's all jumbled together. People must understand and be patient with us as we analyze, collect, and focus on a given thought or topic when in discussion. Norms are generally ahead of us in figuring out our storyline path, but we're developing it as we go. The musical, Dear Evan Hansen, shed a little bit of light on our world, how we are misinterpreted, interrupted, disoriented, intimidated, invisible, scared, lost, tortured, hurting. Unfortunately, many of us with diffabilities are confined to a fine line of misinterpretations, which are difficult to distinguish. In just casual passing, especially by norms, neurotypical thinkers. The spectrum is varied. Some are easily recognized by physical attributes, such as those with Down syndrome, while others of us are less easily identifiable. Norms categorize us with immediate judgmental attitudes based on our mannerisms, actions, or even an appearance. Like how I opened, very ominous. We are profiled and prejudged on a level of intensity that drives some to be hostile and angry, assumed, feared, and believed to be dangerous. Others, like me, are told our feelings won't be validated, and we should conform to fit in and not make norms uncomfortable. Many with ASD or autistic spectrum disorder are driven to internalize our anguish, which leads to self-harm. Others to cope become chameleons and wear masks to blend or disappear. We are classified as weird and having strange behavior. When we speak, we collect our thoughts and circle a long way around a point or comment. Much of our message is misworded or not phrased correctly. Norms are not patient enough to allow us to speak our thoughts fully. We are interrupted and cut off in mid-communication because we didn't get to the point quick enough. We are perceived as stupid. That abrupt change immediately throws us, and we simply cannot recover quickly. It's difficult to regain our mental processing order. We don't do improvisation. Others of us take on the pain and fear of the world's negativity, wondering what they did to cause such pain, fear, and tragedy. Some want to right what is wrong, even when out of their control. They pull sorrow in and internalize it. This mental and emotional misdirection of processing results is one of many unhealthy aspects which causes us to develop anxiety and manic depression. Most don't have friends. Many hide in the shadows, behind computer screens, and are not so much forgotten, but rather never seen. This is us being introverts who are unaccepted. A big characteristic not well known is that we don't value ourselves or our own abilities. We are nobodies. We are to ourselves a subcategory of person, which is magnified by how we are singled and sorted out from others. Socially isolated. Our mindset of self-worth and value to the world, as we are seen and received, is that of non-existence. Many of us feel like we are a burden to our families, to the world, and sometimes have even felt like we should have never been born. My perspective of life, and hopefully an explanation of how I feel like I don't fit into society's neat little package of how I should be or act. How society discriminates, stereotypes, profiles, and has structured a suitable place for me and others like me. How norms around us feel uncomfortable and out of sorts to contend with our differences. That results in unspoken commentary of, we are not worthy. All of us with diffabilities are only wanting to be heard, acknowledged, and accepted. We want a sense of belonging. As R.N. Kelly, an adult on the spectrum, brilliantly said, as a true minority, we are not accepted. We must mask, camouflage, and suppress our true autistic selves, so it is no longer acceptable. And really, Never was. Especially in this day and age to allow autistic coding or profiling. As you can tell with this presentation, I am not your average version of someone with autism. I'm, as my mom says, Abby. Abby normal. Get it? Abnormal? Now, my family tends to live by that subtitle, trust me. I am outgoing, gregarious, but my other traits are that of anxiety, constant worry, uncontrollable outbursts, and confusion, with a side of awkward social skills. I am me. I have never been suicidal or wanting to harm myself or others. That being said, I can understand and give you a little insight as to why us abnormals are driven to such extremes. Now, it's not meant to hurt feelings or lay blame. Rather, it's simply my references, my adaptations, and my feelings, my frustration, and my perspective to make a strong statement. Hopefully, it will be profound and open a world of understanding. And those of us with what society calls impaired. This continually restricts us where we are not given equal opportunities and deal with constant contempt and undertones of extreme profiling, accusations, allegations, tagging, or dismissal. We with diffabilities are refusing to be victims. We can be scrappy fighters. And because not all can express themselves as I can, I'm here to show you my underdog story. I will create my own 15 minutes wait. No. You know what? To hell with it. I'm taking my full 30 minutes to claim my damn fame. If establishments, institutions, corporations, opportunities, if simply life won't make it possible for me to succeed, I'll do my version, my way, here and now. Oh, and remember, here again is my point of my disclaimer to be politically correct. These are my personal thoughts and opinions from experiences as this autistic guy. I hope you enjoy my presentation and story. Well, none of that's done. Oh shit, I mean, wait. Nah, I'm just kidding. I have another copy right here. See what I did just then? Improv and humor. That's not an easy task for us. Well, actually, my humor's a bit odd and off-timing, so that was a practice move. I may need to reflect upon my notes just to make sure I get this capstone just right. Ooh. Besides, the mind of an aspie is a terrible thing to waste. Did I abuse them or show them a pain? Why do they fear of me? They think I'm crazy, how can I explain the side they don't hear from me? Agony beyond power of speech, when the one thing you want is a friend that's just out of your reach. High in their towers, they sit there for hours, sharpening their snares, being unkindly, enjoying their cruelty and pretending to care. Agony, far more painful than words. You could handle the pain you feel if you weren't so forlorn. Agony, misery, well, though it's different for each. Always left out behind, always feeling alone. Friends are just out of reach. Agony that it cuts like a knife. Alas, that was my life. In high school, I performed that song. But I modified it a little bit for today's message, to truly express how I felt in school. Who I was in high school? I was misunderstood, dismissed, and tolerated by some, but a very small circle of friends and many teachers were supportive and very involved with my success. I miss them. So here's my way of saying thanks. There were those that bullied and made fun of me behind my back. They didn't understand me. They didn't take the time to get to know me. Much of it I was really blissfully unaware of, only to find out from my younger sister, Fallon, the truth about those phonies, when I called and believed that they were my friends. I also learned there is a difference from acquaintances, colleagues, and true friends. My persona was developed in my freshman year of high school and highlighted with my entry into the Duct Tape Tuxedo Challenge for prom in 2019. That senior year, I began to feel like I was beginning to be seen and recognized. Heck, I was one of 5 contestants nationwide, the only representative from Georgia in this $10,000 scholarship opportunity. I had over 26,000 supporter votes in a 4-day period of time. But I was runner-up, second, by less than 1,200 votes. But it's okay. Cameron Castles won. And you know what he did? He was using it to be a physician overseas doing missionary work. In this case, I lost to a noble mission. So many blessings, Cameron. That year, I was also seen and acknowledged by Piedmont College before it officially became Piedmont University with a Dean's Scholarship, which allowed me to pursue my love of acting and performing on stage. Here, in fact. My first year was scary and exciting all at once. I did, however, run into the issues where I was reported several times for inappropriate actions, comments, or behavior, and again, here recently, more damning accusations and allegations. Here's where I really thought I would be given a chance to discuss the differences or have reasoning with other students. But alas, no. The establishment's rules and norms perceptions were directed more at having them feel validated, and me being punished, shamed, and showered with insensitivity, ridicule, and contempt. This also led to me being forced into isolation with the corner disability room. Here I was, shut away in a room meant for a physically handicapped ADA compliant room for one person. Decision makers, I guess, felt it was a way to protect me, but in unspoken observance, is that I was a problem that needed to be solved. From there, I have been labeled. Whether those other students ever know the hurt and turmoil I felt from their lack of patience or insensitivity to my genetic oddities is now, well, will be only a disturbing memory. I had other worries more important than them. I needed to focus on my studies, with continued pressure to remain on the Dean's Scholarship list to pay for my education. I wanted to be cast in performances, and always tried out. But you know what? I felt overlooked. I felt like there was favoritism, and that I would not be able to overcome. I also felt like others were not completely honest with me regarding my abilities, talent, or skills. Am I being continually skipped over? Tagged? Discriminated against? I feel like I'm not being given a fair opportunity. I know it would be hard to hear and very upsetting. At least being honest with me helps me more in life. I still will always believe that I am an underdog, a fighter. It's who Chardon X truly is, a fighter for righteousness. Again, I repeat, as a true minority, we are not accepted. We must mask, camouflage, and be forced to suppress our true autistic selves, so it is no longer acceptable and never was. especially in this day and age, to allow autistic coding or profiling.
That we wear in the cold light of day. It's society's mask, it's society's way, and the truth is that it's all a facade. There's a face that we hide till the nighttime appears, and what's hiding inside behind all of our fears is our true self, locked inside the facade. Every day, people in their own sweet way like to wear a coat of paint and be what they ain't. That's how audiences play. They may like a masquerade, acting a bizarre charade while playing the same. But there's one thing I know, and I know it for sure. This disease that we've got has got no ready cure, and I'm certain life is terribly hard when your life's a facade. At the end of the day, they don't mean what they say. They don't say what they mean. They don't tell them anything. And the answer is it's all a facade. Number 2 is evil and good. Anyone can find mine. We don't cross if we could. It's a nightmare. We can never discard. So we stay on our guard. Though we love the facade. What's behind the facade? Look behind the facade.
The spectrum. What does that really mean? It can range vastly from people who experience significant difficulties with cognitive functions. Things such as not responding to their name, hearing, making and requiring repetitive movements, words, or actions, not talking very much, avoiding eye contact, getting upset when asked to do something not in our interests, constantly feeling the desire to be left alone, or rather FOMO, constantly fearing of missing out, or worse, purposely being left out. Having an above-average interest in complicated subjects, having trouble forging new relationships, not fully understanding how to maintain a relationship with common sense actions, as common sense is not common. Taking things too literally, which is a big factor for me. We take on the pain of the world, okay? We feel like much of the chaos and ugliness is somehow our fault. We feel like we can do something to change the ugliness. ASD, or autistic spectrum disorder for short, varies significantly. Emotional conditions such as anxiety, depression, or attention deficit with hyperactivity. It is called a spectrum because in all of the areas on a color wheel in a kaleidoscope, every autistic person has a deficit, a genetic abnormality. This means that those with autism are unique and one of a kind. Ultimately, isn't everyone on the spectrum of life? Aren't we all unique, different, and diversified? However, I feel the current culture forces us all to wear masks, to be fake and superficial. We are underestimated. We are driven to be invisible. I am determined to be seen. Like a racehorse, hold me like a ripcord, bring me down and build me up. I wanna be
on is something that I'm proud of. Out of the box and epoxy to the world and the vision we lost. I'm an apostrophe. I'm just a symbol to remind you that there's more to see. I'm just a product of the system of catastrophe, and yet a masterpiece, and yet I'm half deceased. And when I am deceased, at least I go down to the grave and die happily. Leave the body of my soul to be a part of me. I do what it takes, whatever it takes, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes, 'cause I love how it feels when I break the chains. Whatever it takes, take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do what it takes.
I took my full name, Donald Charles, and switched it up to Charles Donald, and Chardon presented himself. The X is for the cross of Christianity on edge. Chardon X is a paladin, a knight for Christ. My desire is to bring others to Christ by way of battling demons, darkness, and loneliness. I am talented and invested in being my own original character. I will proceed with conviction. I have a friend named Matthew, who is also on the spectrum, and who happens to be a one-man movie creator. And you know what he did? He casted me as his co-star. And so, I hope to learn from him what it takes to conquer the manipulation of the statistics. I'm developing my persona so that I can be who I want to be and be accepted in this world. If I'm to be labeled, then I want to be the one making them and creating a place for myself. Now, as I sing this next song, I'd like you all to join in with me. I'm pretty sure you might know this one.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. We don't want your broken hearts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are, but I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I'm in no party. This is me. Fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame in. I'm bursting through the barricade, reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we become. Won't let them break me down, 'cause I know that there's a place for us. For we are glorious. When the sharp words won't cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. Look out, here I come. Look out, here I come. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. A moment about a missed opportunity. Has anyone of you ever heard of the musical movie called Dear Evan Hansen before? Someone raise your hand if you've seen it. Oh, a few of you have. That's great. Some of you guys know that that movie was released in 2021, but the producers casted a 30-year-old Norm to play the part of a 17-year-old high school student with ASD, the autism spectrum disorder. My apologies. However, they simplified the labeling as the anxiety disorder. The directors picked and pulled attributes and mannerisms to form the character. This is the typical Norm's way of thinking. It did not give true credence to the role. Now, Evan Hansen was a perfect example of how society takes a subject matter and then does not pay attention to those in which the subject is about. I would have liked it if the casting agents reached out to colleges and organizations like Autism Speaks to research and discover talented individuals based on characteristics being scripted. Whether or not I'm discovered for the big leagues remains to be seen. But at least I will create a world where I fit in and can be comfortable being me. All of that can be scripted and delivered without taking it personally. If others can appreciate that and enjoy my version of entertainment, all the better. I can live with that. While the movie missed the mark on delivering the truest sense of the messages, it did instill in all of us that whether you're an aspie, a norm, identifying individually, whatever you are, or simply just breathing, we are all on a spectrum of life. So be kind to one another. Be warm and understanding. Be loving. Let's each of us embrace our unique diffabilities, for we are all not alone. I am DC Stoltz, otherwise known as Chardon X, and I will be found. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand and oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Hey DC, have you seen this? Someone put a video of your speech online.
My speech?
People have started sharing it, and now Chardon X will be everywhere.
Your speech is everywhere. The Diffabilities project page, it had only a few people knowing about it this week.
Well, how do you know about it now?
Well, look at that crowd. Over 50 people in here watching you
I think
live.
everyone will watch it again when it's uploaded.
I don't understand. What happened?
You did!
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown.
Oh my God, everybody needs to see this.
Every time that you call out, you're a little less alone.
Yeah, you be 3 years old. Take 5 minutes.
Silence, your voice is heard.
It's so easy to feel alone. The world